Hello, bum 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 bum. Welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. And of course, we're going to be playing against Matt. Once again, you know Matt with his awesome looking AlphaLegion Chaos Space Marine army. We are playing 1250 points. The mission, Scouring. The deployment, Vanguard Strike. His Chaos Lord in Terminator armor with his retinue of Siege Terminators with Combi Plasmas will be arriving, and they have Soul Blaze. They are attacking at night. These are really cool conversions for the Obliterators. Terminators turned into Obliterators with Tech Marine servo harnesses. Next to a 3-point objective. 2 10-man Chaos Space Marine squads with Flamers and Power Swords in Rhinos with Dirge Casters. 2 Mauler Fiends, stock with the Magma Cutters, a Helldrake in reserve. On the Dark Eldar side, we have a Venom with 5 warriors in a blaster, a Kronos paint engine filled up with upgrades, 3 Grotesques with a Homunculus and a Liquefy gun, 8 Racks with a Liquefy gun and a Raider, 5 more warriors and a Venom, the Talos, and of course 10 Witches with Haywire grenades on that flank. In reserve, we have 5 Scourge that will be arriving, and of course, just because, we have 4 Mandrakes. That's right, looking as awesome as always, and putting some pressure on the Obliterators. We are now moving on to Chaos, turn 1, and the Dark Eldar have chosen not to seize the initiative. Stay tuned. Turn 1, recap. The Chaos Army moved forward, the Rhinos trying to move on to overload the one flank, while the Mauler Fiends moved to the center to provide pressure to the rest of the table. One Rhino decided to immobilize itself on terrain, while the other one moved up and boosted. Meanwhile, the Obliterators opened fire with assault cannons through the night, and wrecked the Venom. The warriors got out unharmed. In retaliation, the Dark Eldar surged forth, both the Grotesques and the Racks boosting up onto the flank as the Mandrakes pulled off a 10-inch charge against the Obliterators that suffered 1 casualty at the hands of lots of splinter cannon fire. On the other flank, the Talos has moved in to cover, trying to face off against 2 Mauler Fiends, and the Witches have moved on to that objective to find out what it is. This objective is indeed sabotaged. This objective is rerolling 1s for shooting, and the same with that one by the pipe. And now we're moving on to Chaos. Turn 2, does Ashbringer, the Helldrake, show up to the battle? He does, and do the Chaos Terminators show up with the Chaos Lord? They do as well. Mauler Fiend charged in, blew up the Rack Raider after lots of Flamers failed to do much damage. On the far flank, other Mauler Fiend ran in, blew up the other Venom, ignoring the Talos. The Plasma Terminator showed up and shot and blew up the Raider, killed 6 Witches in the explosion. Ouch. And then, of course, we're rolling to see if the Scourge show up. They do. And if the objectives explode. It does not. Talos charged into the Mauler Fiend and got smacked to death. The Mauler Fiend made all of his invulnerable saves. The Witches charged in and tied up the Terminators in combat. There's a challenge going on there. The Kronos bravely charged into the other Mauler Fiend and only took 1 wound. The Grotesques and the Racks charged all the way around the Rhino and succeeded wrecking it, not blowing any penetrating hits, with over 6 penetrating hits, which was very unlucky for Matt, as everybody died inside. Mandrakes finally lost a casualty and fell back from the Obliterator, who is now going to flame stuff. And then the Scourge moved up, 1 killed itself on the roof, and they shot into the Mauler Fiend, who also made every single invulnerable save he was supposed to make. And now we're moving on to Chaos turn 3. Stay tuned as the battle is getting bloody. Mauler Fiend finally took out the Kronos. The Racks fell back, got charged by the Obliterator that shot at them. They rallied, lost another one from Soul Blaze. The Helldrake flamed them and Vector Strike the Raider that blew up. On this flank, we had the Witches kill 1 Terminator, and the Witches make all their invulnerable saves in the combat, but the Terminators are fearless thanks to the Lord, so they did not fall back. And now we're moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 3. Will we be able to see the Darkkin return from grim grim tidings. The Witches valiantly held, passing 3 of their invulnerable saves, but the Hecatrix was fallen, and they failed their morale test, and the Terminators are now free to reign. I put one hull point on this Mauler Fiend, and then tried to charge the Grotesque into that Rhino to try force some maneuvers. The Wreck died to some Soul Blaze after he failed to kill the Obliterator, and the Mandrakes rallied. Looking mighty bleak for the Dark Eldar. We had a Mauler Fiend charge in and kill 2 Grotesques. The Obliterator shot and charged into the Mandrakes, and killed 1 more, forced him to fall back, even after he failed his fear test against the Mandrakes. The Helldrake flamed all the warriors in that unit, and Vector Strike the Scourge, and they fell back. So now we're moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 4. Let's see if the stuff rallies. Well, the Grotesques died with the Homunculus, and he got a Hell Point back. The Scourge rallied, snapshot the Haywire Blaster into the Helldrake, doing 1 Hull Point, and the Mandrake rallied too. We're moving on to Chaos, turn 5. Right now Chaos are sitting at First Blood, Warlord, and Linebreaker. 0 points for the Dark Eldar. So we'll see if the Dark Eldar can come up with 1 point at least before the end of the game and not get tabled. We will see if that happens right after this. And the Dark Eldar died. An assault cannon from the Obliterator took out the last Mandrake. The Helldrake went into hover mode and successfully killed 2 of the Scourge, activating its Hellforge to reroll wounds for the 1 turn. The Chaos Space Marines jumped out to gain that 1 objective, and it is a 100% massacre in favor of the Chaos Space Marines. Matt, any last words?
Making 5+ invulnerable saves all game long, pro.
Yeah, made those Mauler Fiends very hard to kill when I was trying to put wounds on them. All in all, that was a fun game. Thanks a lot for watching. You have just watched another fully painted battle report on a fully painted table with fully painted terrain. Thanks a lot for tuning in to your quality battle reports. This is Skari. Stay tuned for the Tactical Corner.
To another Tactical Corner with Skari. So, onto the game. This was going to be a rematch, trying to bring back honour to the Dark Eldar after losing my first game against Matt and those Mauler Fiends. The plan was simple. Overload a flank, get rid of the Mauler Fiends with the Witches, and use the Grotesques and Racks in a more aggressive fashion to put pressure on his squishy troops, which I had done. Now, him getting First Blood against the Venom was just me deploying badly on the 1 flank, because even with Nightfight he was able to take it out. Now, the Mauler Fiends advanced into the centre, which is what I assumed they would do. And, of course, the Talos was there to act as a backtracker. Of course, knowing the power of the Venoms, he decided to take the Venoms out. And when the Warriors came in, the Terminators, to take out that Witch Venom, my Haywire grenades suddenly went from 10 to 0, which means it was going to be hard for me to deal with the Mauler Fiends. Putting pressure on the line, and then the Helldrake coming in, I was able to finally kill one of his troops on the far flank, but I wasn't able to do enough pressure, as every single save those Mauler Fiends had to make was made, which meant that I wasn't able to destroy them in the long run, meaning that they just mopped up with the rest of my army, and that was that. I was tabled.